Chinese government will provide 360 billion yuan of financial support through the next 3 years.
President Tinubu converses deepened relationship as China announces more partnerships, facilitates shared common goals with Africa. Federal government inaugurates Niger Delta Power Holding Company, expects management to deploy expertise to drive its mandate.
We will share best practices, address common challenges, and chart a course forward.
National Summit of Fiscal Responsibility, agency harps on maintaining Nigeria's fiscal chain integrity, stresses of national and federal government standards alignment. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 6 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Olajide Bello. As the 2024 Summit of Forum on China-Africa Cooperation opens in Beijing, President Xi Jinping has announced 10 new partnership action plans to facilitate shared common goals between China and Africa. State House correspondent Musbah Danwahab reports.
24 years have gone by since the People's Republic of China joined the League of Suitors, aiming Africa's partnership for a ride on the sustainable development journey. All along, interest of the partners is to drive common vision for greater development. The 9th Summit of the Developmental Forum found the need to assess the gains of the past partnership and set new goals to ensure future fortunes.
As we celebrate the milestone achievements earlier mentioned, it is important also to reflect on the way forward.
China's partnership with the African continent is the main pillar of South-South cooperation. Your joint efforts, based on the United Nations Charter, can create a new momentum for African development.
And now, with parties yet satisfied with the journey of joint ventures, China announces new partnership action plan with Africa, which among other aims are to build an all-weather China-Africa community and jointly promote modernization.
To implement the 10 partnership actions, the Chinese government will provide 360 billion yuan, or about 50 billion US dollars of financial support through the next 3 years.
Common aspirations have seemingly found a new vigor to drive a more rewarding future as members of the forum welcome new course of action for their partnership.
In the 10 actions that President Xi Jinping has pronounced, we find that all of them are in line with the implementation of the Agenda 2063. And we thank China for focusing on Africa's development.
A new level of partnership is now on the horizon, and the steps toward actualization are now being worked out for a greater future together for Africa and China. In Beijing, Musbah Danwahab, Nta News.
A report's just richness indicates that the Vice President Kashim Shettima is meeting the National Security Advisor, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, and GMD and NPCL on current situation of PMS following President Tinubu's directive. We will be bringing you the details in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated management team of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company with expectation that the new members will deploy their expertise and experience to drive its mandate effectively. The management team was appointed by President Bola Tinubu on August 19, 2024 as part of the renewed hope agenda in developing and improving an efficient power supply in the country. Managing Director of the company, Jennifer Adihige, restated commitment in delivering the mandate of the company.
We're very keen on utilizing strategy, cutting-edge strategy, to propel the NDPAC to greater heights by ensuring that we come up with new solutions that would explore very fruitful market opportunities for us within the energy ecosystem. We understand the significance of adequate and quality electricity to all Nigerians, to vulnerable Nigerians, and therefore our overarching goal is to foster energy inclusion by bridging electricity access gaps to vulnerable Nigerians in underserved and unserved communities, and which is our drive in line with Mr. President's renewed hope agenda for lighting up Nigeria.
The Federal Road Safety Corps has launched a mobile application and a national crash reporting information system to create an interface between the Corps and the general public. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports that the mobile app launched by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has a series of features which includes identification and notification of black spots in parts of the country.
The need to bring the Federal Road Safety Corps closer to the general public, as well as intimate them about activities and new innovative drive of the Corps, is the focus of the current leadership of FRSC. One of the major moves to this direction is the launching of the new FRSC mobile app and the National Crash Reporting Information System, NACRIS. With this, Nigerians can now directly report to the Corps issues of concern on the roads. The application gives a real-time traffic update, accident and gridlock alerts, amongst others.
The mobile app is a software application that can be used on boards to alert us on sensitive road safety issues through programs, features such as excessive speeding, dangerous driving, verifying our vehicle document, among others. The proper application of these features is expected to drastically reduce injuries and fatalities resulting from road traffic crashes.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, who launched the mobile apps, assured that the government will support sustainability of such projects embarked upon by the Federal Road Safety Corps for the benefits of Nigerians.
The launch of these two digital platforms is a testimony to the fact that the Corps Marshal is committed to fulfilling his promises. It also marks another giant stride in the effort of the Corps at implementing policies aimed at creating a safer motoring environment and reducing crash-related injuries.
The FRSC is advancing towards a 21st century standard in technology, ensuring enhanced road safety barriers.
Africa has solutions for African problems. And being in this populous African country, the largest economy in Africa, I believe this is where we need to start those solutions from.
The mobile applications are now available for downloads on Google Play Store for Android users and iOS for iPhone owners, as the Corps hopes to improve safety on highways nationwide. Oyeyemi Ajayi, Nta News.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has stressed the critical need for aligning subnational governments with federal standards to maintain the integrity of Nigeria's fiscal chain. Speaking at the National Summit on Fiscal Responsibility Agencies in Abuja, Akume reaffirmed the government's commitment to fostering transparency and accountability in the public sector. Alika Opanachiarwa reports that Akume, represented at the summit, emphasized the federal government's ongoing efforts to ensure prudent resource management.
The federal government has been actively working to ensure the prudent management of national resources and enforcing fiscal discipline across public sectors. To sustain this trajectory, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, is stressing the need for improved adherence to the Fiscal Responsibility Act, particularly regarding borrowing practices, and calling for increased technical support to local government councils to adopt fiscal responsibility measures effectively.
This national summit has therefore been organized to strengthen the coordination of fiscal responsibility policies and practices nationwide. By bringing together representatives from national and subnational entities and working with development partners, we will share best practices, address common challenges, and chart a course forward.
The challenge is simply enforcement, or the lack of it is the basic albatross of compliance.
The Fiscal Responsibility Commission, FRC, has also reaffirmed its dedication to a transparent financial system during the summit themed Building a Resilient Fiscal Framework, a Collaborative Approach. Executive Chairman Victor Morocco outlined plans to enhance fiscal coordination among government levels and improve collaboration between national and subnational institutions.
We are one people. At Fiscal Responsibility Commission, we believe that we should build a resilient framework for fiscal accountability, transparency in our nation, because it's one economy we have.
Like the Akwa Ibom State particular, we have a sound law with clear defined sanctions and penalties, clear defined.
Discussions at the summit focused on advancing fiscal governance nationwide. In Abuja, Alika Okpanachi, Arua, NTA.
The police have declared a British national, Andrew Wine, and Nigerian Lucky Obiyan wanted for treasonable felony. The declaration was made during the monthly Strategic Communications Interagency Policy Committee's briefing. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
It's another interagency policy committee's briefing with information managers of military, paramilitary and strategic government agencies on ground to provide updates on their various operations. The declaration of one Andrew Wayne and Lucky Obiyan wanted for treasonable felony was top at the briefing.
Whatever the immigration status of Mr. Andrew Wayne, we are looking for him. We have every reason to look into these cases, and we have done what we should as a responsible security institution to go after these individuals who want to run down the system and don't want to cause chaos.
Other agencies also took turns to give update on their respective operations.
If some items need to move under fast track or move to bonded terminals without examination, we are going to examine those items 100%, because the consistency of importation of prohibited items is becoming alarming through on a port. So we are doing our effort to man the borders using non-intrusive inspection technology.
The government has actually reviewed the feeding allowance of inmates in our custody with 50%. And this is just the first phase of the review. The government is also looking at the next phase, where they will actually improve the allowance of inmates.
The information managers urged the public to support security agencies in the quest to ensure a safe and a secure Nigeria. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The National Counter-Terrorism Center in the Office of the National Security Advisor has signed an MOU with NAFDAC to bolster the fight against terrorism and illicit drug trade. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Adamulaka, notes that illicit drug trade fuel insecurity in the country.
It's a significant event marking a pivotal movement in the ongoing drive to collectively counter violent extremism and illicit drug trade. Records show great nexus between crime and illicit drugs, as most terrorists indulge in drugs before embarking on their nefarious criminal activities. Through this partnership, the National Counter-Terrorism Center and NAFDAC will improve information and intelligence sharing to trace and track illicit drug trade and terrorism.
This Memorandum of Understanding represents a commitment to shared goals, mutual support, and effective cooperation. It signifies our dedication to leveraging our respective expertise, resources, and capabilities to strengthen our response to terrorism, prevent radicalization, and protect our society from the devastating impact of violent extremism.
This is a plus for our country. It is also about our children, about our young people, that we prevent them before getting hooked by drugs and getting into terrorism and extreme violence.
The Office of the National Security Advisor facilitated the return of NAFDAC to the nation's seaports in 2018. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
You're watching the news desk at 6 on Nta News24. More reports when we return.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to NTA News24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.
Thanks for being there. With the dimension that the security situation in the Northwest has taken, Minister of State for Defense Mohammed Bello Matawali has been commended for his visit to the Nigerian Army 8th Division headquarters in Sokoto State, aimed at finding sustainable solutions to banditry and insecurity in the region. This came at a media briefing in Abuja, where the Center Against Banditry and Terrorism identified some key individuals high in the ranks of the criminal gangs and how they are conducting their nefarious activities.
We are only fortunate by the ray of hope offered by the Minister of State for Defense, Dr. Mohammed Bello Matawali, through his visit to the Nigerian Army's 8th Division headquarters in Sokoto State. His review of the ongoing anti-banditry and counter-terrorism operation in the Northwest region has assured us that the banditry problem will one day be a thing of the past. Terrorism can only end if we all join hands to take the war to the sponsors of the terrorist gangs.
As the African continent strives to fine-tune protocols within the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, legal practitioners in Nigeria have been tasked to carefully study the agreement so that the country derives maximum benefit from it. This was the thrust of a one-day sensitization for legal practitioners drawn from different MDAs in Abuja. Austin Aibe reports.
Of Africa is really in this agreement, but we must drive it.
After agreement is more ambitious and wider in scope and benefit and opportunities than the regional economic communities.
The African Continental Free Trade Agreement is one of the several agreements entered into by Nigeria. This particular one is important to the country as it stands to enhance the nation's economic development, since the continent has over 1.4 billion people. The worry by some stakeholders is that there are technicalities in the drafting of the agreement, as some terminologies in the annexes and appendices of the protocols need to be understood.
We have realized that in actual practice, most of our legal officers and legal advisors posted to the ministry are not specialists. They are neither specialists in international trade, nor in investment law, nor in competition law, nor actually in digital trade law. So, and this is an era of specialization.
The lawyers don't really grab hold of it. And so to see how it can benefit Nigeria, what are the other laws that we have already that will come in contrast and conflict, with this agreement. We have to start.
This is why the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies feels Nigeria must continue to engage legal advisors in key MDAs to study the 8 protocols in the agreement so that it will leverage the important ones to develop her economy. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, Nta News.
National Population Commission says Nigeria's birth registration has gone beyond the purview of hospitals or the National Population Commission to involve in a host of agencies, including National Identity Management Commission, the National Orientation Agency, and the Nigerian Immigration Service. Director General, National Population Commission, disclosed these while seeking ways to upscale birth registration. And Good Morning Nigeria, Ekemini Williams has a report.
For years, paper-based birth registration in Nigeria has been fraught with attendant consequences of low and inefficient documentation. But the federal government is keen on providing a remedy to the country's data collection for national planning and development. In 2023, President Bola Tinubu on November 8 inaugurated the National Geospatial Data Repository, Digital Civil Registration and Vital Statistics System, and the National Coordination Committee for the CRVS under the chairmanship of the National Population Commission and stakeholders across all federal ministries, departments and agencies. The discussion on upscaling a birth registration on Good Morning Nigeria gave the NPC Director General, Ojogun Telson Osifo, an opportunity to open up on the current scale of operation. He says the commission is collaborating with hospitals in Nigeria, NIMSI, and other relevant stakeholders to ensure robust digital documentation of births.
We are collaborating strongly with National Primary Healthcare Development Agency that even during immunization, they can assist in the registration in order to get a wider coverage. And we are linking up through the Bansford technology with their database, the DHIS, the Health Information System, so that we collaborate along that line. A child is born. Registration is done to some extent, and the NPC person attached to that catchment area approves that registration.
Other guests on the program explained the socio-economic benefits of the digital birth registration. They insist cooperation of traditional leaders and caregivers are key to successful implementation.
So just go online, go to the National Population Commission's website and click on the services menu. You would see you will see a list of services that NPC offers, and one of them is the is the attestation for 18 years and above, and it's pretty easy, very easy to use.
We are now working with NPC, bringing in all civil registration and vital statistics, MDAs, ministries, departments and agencies, and other relevant stakeholders. The 15 inter-ministerial committee that has been set up to form the National CRVS Committee to develop a national strategy and a costed plan between 2024 to 2030.
Nigerians above the age of 18 years are expected to update their birth details on the National Population Commission website to acquire an authentic attestation. NPC says UNICEF has recruited about 18,000 personnel to assist the Commission offset registration backlog of individuals who were manually registered in the past. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, Nta News.
President Bola Tinubu has received the news of the passing of Chief Michael Adeniyi Koliosho, OFR, former national chairman of the Alliance for Democracy AD, with profound sadness. Chief Koliosho was the former secretary to the government of Oyo State, a politician and accomplished businessman. President Tinubu, in a release by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajiri Ngalale, mourns the late elder statesman who was the Babalaje of Saki land, recalling his endeavors towards enriching and strengthening the political process. The President extends his condolences to the family of the deceased and to the people of Oyo State. The President prays for the repose of the soul of the departed and comfort his family. And that's the News Desk at 6 and Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I'm Olajide Bello.